stop scrolling. Right now. If you skip these 30 seconds, you will regret it for the rest of your life. This is not just an ordinary concert. This is a historic explosion at MetLife Stadium. Bruno Mars just appeared in a blazing red suit that burns the eyes. And what happened next? 80,000 fans hysterical, screaming, crying, not believing what they were seeing. Hello hooligans, welcome to the Brunomars channel, the only channel that reveals all of Bruno Mars' craziest secrets without any censorship. Before I show you the seconds that shocked the world, do this right now. Like this video as hard as you can, comment as hysterically as possible if you were there, and subscribe to the Brunomars channel and turn on the bell. Because after this, you will see why tonight is being called the night where Bruno Mars was no longer human, but a god of the stage. Ready? Let's break down the madness. Can this still be called a concert? Or has this become a mass worship ritual never before witnessed by the modern world? That is the question that keeps echoing, keeps spinning, keeps haunting every single head inside and outside MetLife Stadium that night. Because what happened was not just a singer stepping onto a stage and singing his songs. What happened was an explosion of emotion, an unstoppable tsunami of hysteria, a moment where the boundary between stage and audience, between idol and fan, between reality and dream, completely vanished, shattered into pieces in a single scream. It all started with smoke. Thick white smoke enveloping the giant stage of MetLife Stadium, a stadium that is usually a witness to fierce American football battles, now transformed into the most sacred temple of music on earth. Lights out. The heartbeats of 82,500 humans racing in unison. And then, from behind the fog, that silhouette appeared. A back turned to everyone, but it was from that back that the most deadly aura radiated. A blood-red suit, blazing red, a daring red, adorned with gold embroidery of roses and leaves that glittered like a royal crown, a costume that seemed to be sewn directly from threads of fire. On his head, the red bandana that has become his signature, a sign of war that tonight there would be no mercy. Who would not be hysterical seeing that view? The photo that is circulating, which has now gone viral around the world, which you are seeing, that is not just a photo. That is the first second before the time bomb exploded. Bruno Mars standing, microphone in his right hand raised high, as if calling the spirits of music legends to come down and bear witness. And when he turned around, the world stopped breathing. Can you imagine 80,000 people holding their breath in the exact same second? That is what happened. A tense silence for a fraction of a second, before finally that first voice came out of his mouth, and that first movement jolted from his hips. And at that moment, MetLife Stadium exploded. Not a figure of speech, but literally exploded in a deafening scream, whose vibration could be felt all the way to the farthest parking lot. Why could fans be so hysterical? What made Bruno Mars' singing and dancing performance, this time different from hundreds of his other concerts that were already considered perfect? This is the mystery that makes amateur videos from the front row become the hottest debate material on TikTok, Instagram, and X in the last 24 hours. Some say there was something different about the way he sang that night. His voice, which is already known as one of the cleanest and most powerful vocals of his generation, sounded wilder, more raw, more full of emotion, as if every lyric he sang was the most honest confession he had ever uttered. Look at how he commands the stage. In the same all-red suit from top to bottom, with a large gold belt buckle glittering at his waist, he is not walking, he is floating. His footwork is so light, so precise, that his white shoes seem not to touch the stage. And then that dance comes. Not a dance that is just a memorized choreography, but a dance that seems to flow directly from his soul. The split-second splits, the shoulder shimmies that are jerky yet smooth, the microphone twirl that is his trademark, all done while he continues to sing live without a flaw, without a breathless gasp, without a single note off key. How can a human being do both perfectly at the same time? Is he still human? This is the question that makes the fans in the front row cover their mouths with both hands, eyes bulging, some crying hysterically because they cannot believe what their eyes are witnessing is real. The blue laser lights crossing from behind, the stage lights lined up vertically like pillars of fire surrounding him. All of it only becomes a backdrop for one figure in the middle. One figure who managed to make a stadium as big as MetLife feel like an intimate living room. He looks to one side, then the other, and every glance is answered with an even louder scream. He raises the microphone, and tens of thousands of people sing his lyrics even before he sings them. He lowers his voice to a whisper, and the entire stadium whispers with him. This is the power that no other singer has. This is why he is called the last true performer on this earth. And this is the surprise that no one expected. In the middle of a performance that had already driven everyone crazy, Bruno did something that was not on the set list, something he had never done on his previous tours. He stopped in the middle of the song, letting the music continue to play, and he just danced. For almost a full minute, he just danced, letting his body speak. And that dance which is now being slow motioned by fans and analyzed frame by frame, contains movements that are said to be a hidden tribute to Michael Jackson, James Brown, and Prince all at once in one sequence. Is this a coincidence? Or was Bruno Mars that night trying to send a message that he is the rightful heir to the throne of all those legends? A bold claim, a claim that will trigger a war in the comments section, but the visual evidence is right before our eyes. The fans who were there swear that the energy inside the stadium that night was different. Some say they felt a vibration in their chest, not from the sound system, but from the collective scream around them. There was a female fan whose video went viral because she fainted not from being squeezed, but from holding a hysterical scream for too long when Bruno did a brief moonwalk on the slippery stage. Medics had to evacuate her, but even while being carried out on a stretcher, she was still trying to record with her phone. How far does this obsession go? Or how far does the love that Bruno Mars has managed to create go? MetLife Stadium, that night was no longer New Jersey. That night, MetLife was the center of the universe. All eyes of the world were fixed there. All hashtags about Bruno Mars became the #1 worldwide trending topic in less than 15 minutes after he appeared in his red suit. The celebrities present in VIP, who are usually aloof and cool, were caught on camera standing up, screaming, recording like ordinary fans. Because in front of such charm, no one can stay cool. All masks of fame fell off. Then what is the secret behind that red suit? Why red? Why not elegant black or classic white? Fashion analysts and hardcore hooligans have started to speculate with wild theories that add to the mystery. Some say red is the color of courage, the color that Bruno is entering a new era that is bolder, more funky, more unstoppable. Some say the gold rose embroidery on his back is a symbol of love blooming again after so long he was on hiatus from a solo album. And there are those who whisper that this is a code, an Easter egg for a giant project he is about to announce. Could that costume be a clue for a new album? Could that new dance move be choreography for a single the world has never heard? Every stitch, every movement, now becomes a puzzle that keeps the internet from sleeping. What is clear, one thing that cannot be denied by anyone, even by the haters, is that night Bruno Mars once again proved why he is irreplaceable. In an era where many singers rely on lip-syncing, rely on loud backing tracks, rely on backup dancers to cover their flaws, Bruno came with the opposite concept. Just him, his microphone, his super tight band, the hooligans, and a dance born from decades of discipline. Nothing is fake. Everything you see in those viral photos, the sweat pouring down, the veins tensing in his neck when he hits a high note, the shoes slightly dusty from moving too much, it's all real. And it is that authenticity that makes fans even more hysterical, because they know they are witnessing something rare, something that may never be repeated again with the same intensity. And when the concert ended, when the smoke rose again and the lights went out again, the silence that remained was even more deafening than the screams. Tens of thousands of people left the stadium with hoarse voices, with tears still flowing, with hands trembling from recording for too long. They looked at each other, at strangers next to them, and immediately hugged, because they knew they had just shared the same spiritual experience. They were no longer concert spectators. They were witnesses to history. So now the question goes back to you who are watching this from your screen. After seeing these burning photos, after hearing the story of the mass hysteria that shook MetLife Stadium, do you still dare to say that there is another performer in this world who can match Bruno Mars' level of energy, vocals, and dance in one package as perfect as that night? Or is this night at MetLife the final and undeniable proof that Bruno Mars is not only the king of performers today, but has officially surpassed all legends and become the greatest entertainer of all time who will never be defeated by anyone ever again?
I'm